Bryan Kohberger's story is chilling, not just because of the alleged crimes, but because of the deeper issues it brings to light. His life, as we've come to understand it, was marked by struggle. A bullied child, an isolated teenager, and an adult grappling with a growing obsession. It paints a haunting picture of how a fractured mind can spiral into unimaginable darkness. When you look at Bryan's life, one theme stands out: his search for identity and connection. He seemed to struggle with forming meaningful relationships, often finding himself on the outside looking in. That kind of social isolation mixed with an intense fixation on violence likely left him feeling unmoored, like he didn't really know who he was. And it's that void, this inability to find belonging or purpose, that I believe played a crucial role in what happened next. The victims, Kaylee, Madison, Xana, and Ethan, were not random. To Bryan, they seemed to represent everything he lacked: vibrant lives full of connection, love, and belonging. They had qualities he couldn't achieve on his own, and in his mind, they may have become symbols of what he wanted most but could never have. It's horrifying to think about. But the crime might have been, for him, a way to create a twisted connection with them. In their tragedy, Bryan may have seen a chance to define himself, to make himself seen in a world where he felt invisible. Can you imagine carrying a question like, "Do they see me now?" for years? It's a haunting thought, but it speaks to the deep-seated need for recognition that likely consumed him. That question, that desperation, turned his victims from individuals with dreams and futures into symbols in his own dark narrative. And that's what makes this story so tragic. For Kaylee, Madison, Xana, and Ethan, their lives were just beginning, full of promise and connection. But for Bryan, their existence became a canvas for his desperation, his need to matter in some horrific way. This story isn't just about Bryan's actions, it's about the missed opportunities to intervene. There were signs: his growing obsession with violence, his inability to empathize, and his clear struggles with isolation. But none of those signs alone could predict what would happen. Bryan Kohberger's search for identity reveals the catastrophic consequences of an unaddressed emotional and mental spiral. And tragically, the cost of his desperation was the lives of 4 beautiful individuals. Kaylee, Madison, Xana, and Ethan deserved so much more. They deserved long, happy lives, untouched by Bryan's dark fixation. As we seek justice for them, we also need to ask the hard questions. How can we prevent this kind of tragedy? What can we learn from the signs? If there's one thing we can take away, it's that these conversations matter. Talking about mental health, about intervention, about the warning signs, it's not just important, it's essential. Because in the end, justice isn't just about accountability. It's about making sure this doesn't happen again.
Please like, subscribe, and share if you enjoyed this so that I can continue to bring you content.